sharing all his words.
Respect is just unbelievable, and people just fall into
Say anything but, you're absolute heroes. Now, I thought I'd get up and it's so clean out. The dog and the man, they work together as a flock of sheep in play. The tradies losing tools hard earned. The nurses straight.
Butcher, happy birthday, because I can't sing, not even in the shower. So bear with me, and you might need to put your earplugs in if you've got them. So, but there's a very special young lady's birthday today, Sibylla, and we want to make it the best birthday ever. So with your best singing voices, we'll start off in a rendition. Yeah, give her a clap, guys, for her birthday.
This shit come out of me, I thought stuff it, I'll get up on the truck and do it. So there you go. So we can all join in. So anyway, on 3, and like I said, forgive my voice. On 3, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Yeah, good morning all. I didn't just wake up, sorry. Bow our heads. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. Yesterday I spoke about the courage that's required to do what we've got to do, and how you here are the ones that'll be carrying the nation forward, whether you know it or not. And I know that a lot of us are hurting in a whole bunch of different ways. Physically, emotionally, psychologically, financially. It's tough. It's tough. The one message you've got to know is that you are tough than you know. You can actually handle a lot more than you think. Now, leadership. That's your gig, whether you know it or not. You are here to lead. Because in as much pain as you are right now, in as much difficulty you are in right now, it is nothing compared to those out there. Because they don't even know yet. Can you imagine what it's going to be like when they find out they've had their kids jabbed? When they find out about the satanic ritual abuse? When they find out about all the things that you've been diving down your rabbit holes over the, in some cases months, in some cases years, in some cases decades. And you've been desperately waiting for that point in history when the truth can come out. Well, it's about to come out. And as tough as it is for us, the great majority of Australians are in for the rudest shock of their lives. And that's why the leadership that you will have to demonstrate is key. Now, real leadership, not barking orders, because that's the military. The military knows nothing about leadership, just by the way. They know about command. Command is the lawful execution of authority. That's command, that's the military. This is real leadership, comes from here. Real leadership demands 4 virtues. The first is courage. And we spoke about that yesterday. The courage to think what you've got to think, say what you've got to say, and do what you've got to do. The second is wisdom. Because it's great to have the stones to jump forward, but you've got to know what the hell you're doing once you get there. So the first is courage, the second is wisdom. And you've already got that in spades. Again, you've been researching, you've been analysing, you've been making your own mind up. That's why you are here and not out there watching Netflix. You know what's going on. They don't. They're going to have to rely upon your wisdom to slowly explain to them what's been going on and how it's been going on. The third virtue is faith. Faith in yourself, faith in your ability to do what you've never done before. And you can do it. There's this invisible line in life. Wolfgang Goethe, the German administrator, writer, philosopher, spoke about it. There's this invisible line, and most people are on this side of the line. And on the other side, there are other people. Their lives seem to be different. And to step across that line requires extraordinary courage and wisdom to step across the right line the right way. But once you cross it, it's amazing. The whole world opens up. Once you trust yourself, you know how to live. Trust yourself. Not trust that you're going to be right all the time, because you won't. Not trust yourself because you'll never make a mistake, because you won't. Because that's the process, we know that. Fall 7 times, stand up 8. Old Japanese proverb. As long as you're standing up, every time you fall, you're on the right track. So you've got to have faith in yourself. And it's there, in you. I've been doing this leadership thing for a long time now. And it never ceases to amaze the people when they realise that what's in them is so powerful, is so profoundly powerful. And they actually step up and they do it, and they cross that invisible line, and their whole life changes. All of a sudden, the things they worried about are gone. They still have to make money, they still have to feed their family, they still have to house and educate them. But somehow the stress isn't there anymore. Somehow they know it's going to turn out okay. And the last one, the last of the 4 virtues demanded of real leadership is love. Now, I used to give this leadership presentation to the New South Wales Police Force. Every month I'd fly to Sydney and I'd speak to 40-odd commissioned officers of the New South Wales Police. When I got to this point, the 4th quality is love, some wag down the back would yell out, "Show us the love!" You can imagine their response to that. And I said, "Okay, let me explain it to you." And I'd say to the cops, like I'm saying to you, like you're going to have to explain to them out there. What is the source? Well, the question goes like this. Who here, and by show of hands, who would like an infinite amount of courage on tap 24/7 whenever you needed it, regardless of the circumstances? Oh, we all do. Good. Now, some of you have heard this story before, but bear with me for those that haven't. And I say, imagine you're standing on a 10-story building. That's 100 feet straight down. And there's a 10-foot gap, and there's another 10-story building directly opposite me. And you look down and there's a garbage bin and a dog nuzzling in the corner and a piece of paper blowing in the breeze. You got the picture? And I attach a plank of wood, it's only about this wide, to this side of the building and across to the other. Now, it's very solidly attached. It won't wobble, it can't cause you any distress. And I say to me, show me how courageous you are. I want you to walk the plank. Now, just for the hell of it, who here would walk the plank? There's always a couple of lunatics like me that would do it just for the hell of it. But most people are actually smarter than us, and they do a quick cost-benefit analysis and say, consequenza error high, payoff low, not going to do it. And I say, come on, gird your loins. Prove to me you're a real man, a real woman. Cross the, walk the plank. And you might give it some of this. And you dive on the other side and you make it. And I say, how about going back again? You go, no way, I've done it once, I'm good, thanks. And that's just sensible. Now, you're going to get to the end of this story before I finish telling it, but bear with me. Then I get you back up to this building. There's the plank, there's the 10-story building on the other side. And then I ask you a question. Who here has a child or a grandchild? Now imagine that child is on the roof of the other building. That building is now engulfed in flames. And I say to you, the only way to save your child or grandchild is to walk across the plank, pick them up, walk back. Who now walks the plank? The source of courage, real courage, is pure love. That's it. So whenever you feel fear, and fear is natural, whenever you feel fear to stand up and talk in public, or to say something or intervene in a situation that is just plain wrong. Remember I spoke yesterday about morality, having a component of action, because knowing it's wrong isn't enough. You must have the courage to intervene, to stop that act. And that courage is what's required. And the source of that courage is love. So all you think about is, what do you love? And that will give you the courage to step forward. People ask me, how do I keep going? That's easy. You just sang happy birthday to one of my daughters. What the hell do you think keeps me going every day? So folks, I know it's tough. I know you're hurting. I know that you don't know where the money's coming from. And guess what? I've been there more times than I'd like to know. Seriously. I've had to ring up my mates. Can you slip me a couple of $1,000? I've got no money in the bank, and we've got rent and food. And they go, no problems, mate. Bang. A couple of K comes across. And then that runs out. And then I've got to find money, and I've got to find money. It'll come. Just focus on what you've got to do it the right way. And every day now, we're still just hovering above zero. But when you hit zero, the funny thing about it is it's the first time you're terrified. And after a while you go, zero, I'll get past zero. Not a problem. But it's fun walking into Coles with $20 in your pocket and knowing the normal weekly shopping's about 200. And you're saving 5 cents here and 5 cents there, and you try to make things go, like making rice and onions. A bit of rosemary on top goes a long way. But you get through. And we're all of us, and I mean this, me included, we're all in the same boat. The money somehow will turn up. And for the men out there, I know you don't like asking for help, particularly financial, because in a way we feel emasculated, and that's natural and good. That reluctance is natural and good. That's what compels us to stand up and face the bison with a pointy stick, because there's no way you're going back to your bride in the cave without fresh meat, because you know that look she's going to give you. And you're more scared of that look than the bison. But if you need to, reach out to a mate, reach out to a stranger and say, I need $50. And I'll bet you it'll turn up. I bet you it'll turn up. I was in Milan on a consulting job a long time ago, just waiting at the station there. And a gentleman came up to me and said, I was obviously speaking English on the phone. He said, do you speak Italian? I said, yeah, I do. Why? He said, oh, this gentleman's in trouble. He needs to speak to his sister down somewhere south of Italy. But he doesn't speak Italian, but his sister does. Okay. So he said, what do you want me to do? He said, oh, he just needs to borrow your phone. Oh, here we go. Anyway, this guy turned up, and this giant of a man, like a giant bear, huge. He grabs the phone and starts talking, and I'm standing in front of him expecting this guy to do a runner. So I'm ready to go. And he turns around and starts walking away. So I follow him, but he is actually genuinely talking to his sister, and it's obviously there's a problem. There's a real problem. There's some problem that I can't discern. Eventually he gives the phone back. I speak to his sister and say, what's going on? He said, look, he needs to get down here, but he's got no money. And so I said, okay, no problems. Click, hung up. And this guy was Ukrainian, big Ukraine, bear. And I didn't speak Ukrainian, he didn't speak Italian. So I just took out $50 or €50 from my wallet, shook his hand. He looked down, he burst into tears. And he gave us this huge hug, almost crushed me in the process. $50. It's amazing how it'll save a life. Doesn't take much, folks. You know, I've been in a position to hand it out, and now I'm in a position to let somebody hand some to me. Does that make sense? Now, this isn't a call for money. We're good, so please don't. We're good. But I'm promising, please, if there are people out there that you think need a hand, you just shake their hand, and in their hand will be a few bucks that you can afford to pass on. Does that make sense? But don't give me any. We're okay. We're good. But the point's this. If you love enough, you will do what must be done regardless of the cost to you. Does that make sense? So deep dive into that love. That's the source of courage. That's the source of everything you need. And help the people around you. That's all you've got to do. And know that as much pain as you're in, there's a bunch of people out there, a lot of people that are going to need your strength, your courage, your wisdom, your faith and your love to get through the next few years, because we're about to enter a tough part of Australian history. This is unlike any other war. In other wars, the soldiers die and then you fix up the mess. In this war, we're going to win, and then the people will be passing, sadly. We'll be saving as many as we can, but we have to make sure we help them through, and that's what we're here for. That's your job, whether you like it or not. If you're here right now, that's your job. You've passed the selection process, you're in. So, if you love someone or something enough, you will do what must be done regardless of the cost to you. That's the foundation that builds civilizations. That's the foundation that builds societies. That's the foundation that builds a family. That makes sense?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we just got to bring these turkeys, get them some wings and get them up there with us, okay? So the boys are just going to do Eagle Rock, and we think that we ought to just all get into it. Make sure we're all flying like and soaring like eagles, because that's where we need to be.
Turn around once, gonna do the Eagle Rock.
We're gonna win this war. We ain't taking no for an answer. We don't want this anymore.
This in our strength, we do it in God's strength. And the second thing is, God is our source of light and love. So I want to share that as my experience of have to make a choice. And I met Anthony, all of you might know him, and I did say I may dedicate a song if I got time, which he wanted me to play for him.